From secret weapons and rooms in the campaigns to hidden references buried deep in the franchise's multiplayer maps, Call of Duty has over 2 decades worth of Easter eggs and classified lore to uncover. Here's 50 secrets that only 1% of the community will know. Let's start off with a few hidden in the single player. First is a classic. In the mission Little Resistance, in the World at War campaign, standing in these puddles in a specific sequence will cause a ray gun to spawn, which you can pick up and then use for the rest of the mission. And Treyarch seem to be really proud of themselves with that one, because in their next game, Black Ops, on the mission Numbers, if you blow up all the Nova 6 containers, grab a cassette, and insert it in a player later in the level, it'll give you a free Thunder Gun for the rest of that mission as well. Then in Black Ops 2, on the mission Celerium, there's a small dark cave early in the level that contains Thor's hammer. An interesting find in its own right, but it wasn't until a full 7 years later that the community discovered that if you cleared this area of all the enemies without being detected and go back to it, it'll be electrified and have billowing smoke. You still can't quite pick it up, but pressing X on it will grant you unlimited ammo for your Titus 6 explosive weapon. 2 years later, Sledgehammer must have taken inspiration from Treyarch with Advanced Warfare, because on the level throttle, you can find a secret, usable RPG on the roof of a building, despite the weapon never officially existing in the game. Another hidden weapon that can be found in Cold War on the mission Echoes of a Cold War, where you need to grab a key to a weapon locker that can be opened to reveal a Magnum revolver named the Redeemer, identical to the one Mason uses to kill Steiner in BO1. And just before it in the same campaign, during the mission Red Light Green Light, the infamous Bubba the Burger Town mascot returns with special voice lines when interacted with, and even a secret M79 launcher hidden just behind him. A few levels later in End of the Line, you can find a hidden button in a bookcase that when pressed will open a secret panic room full of weapons to help you on the mission ahead. Then on to the 2019 campaign. On the embassy mission, if you go into the basement and shoot a console, it reveals a game of Pong being played on one of the screens, which is cool, but I think Black Ops 1 has it beat, where at the main menu you can mash both triggers until your character actually stands up from the chair and can freely explore the room. But that's only the beginning. If you walk to the corner, you can access a computer terminal where you can read up on a lot of the game's lore via emails and intel, play a text-based game Zork, and at launch, this was also the only way to first unlock Dead Ops Arcade. In the COD 4 remaster, during One Shot One Kill, when you're supposed to be shooting Zakhaev's arm off, you can instead zoom in behind him to see Makarov and Yuri, now in one of the transport trucks. This foreshadows MW3, where we see this same scene, but from their perspective. In the remaster, you can even shoot Makarov to prevent World War III, and more importantly, get an achievement. Back in the 2019 campaign, there's this infamous cleaning house Easter egg, where if you mercilessly shoot the baby not once, not twice, but 3 times, the devs have some choice words for you. In Infinite Warfare's Terminal remake, you can come across a chalkboard advertising sushi made out of premium fish AI. This is a nod to the infamous line from COD Ghost's marketing campaign in Infinity Ward's previous game.
So we have fish move out of the way when you get close to them.
Also in IW, on Throwback, you can find a retro arcade machine for a game named Star Master, which is actually real and in fact was the first game ever published by Activision back in 1982. COD Ghost also had a handful of good Easter eggs in their multiplayer maps. Like on Pharaoh, there's 3 unlit torches around the map that can be rotated, opening up a door to a secret treasure room with a free kill streak in it. But be careful when you grab it, because that will cause the door to close, potentially trapping you inside. Then on Unearth, you can use explosives to destroy anchor points on the crane in the middle to drop the Venom X, a wonder weapon from Extinction. Speaking of Extinction, for a mode meant to replace zombies, there really weren't too many crazy hidden Easter eggs. But one fun one required you to shoot the letters LOL on the motel sign. Text will appear on your screen, and starting next round, all cryptids will now explode into a bunch of golden alien figures when killed. In the original MW2, if you go into the spectator cam on the map terminal and fly to the wine shop just out of bounds, you can find a game case featuring COD 4's scrapped original cover art. Similar in Advanced Warfare, going outside the map compound, you can find a fully modeled recreation of the classic Rust just sitting outside of the playable space. Also in AW, when flying under the map on Instinct, you can see the full image used for the map's skybox, along with the shadow of Sledgehammer Games employee and a tripod that took the photo. Then, for a game constantly touting about realism, Modern Warfare 2019 actually came packed with a bunch of Easter eggs in their DLC season, including one on the gunfight map Trench, where you need to find all 4 numbers scattered around the map and type them into the keypad spawn to open up a Cold War era bunker with teddy bears plotting an attack. Similarly, the map Aisle 9 had featured 10 hidden teddy bears that, when shot, would open up the truck in the center containing the store's last toilet paper roll. Cheshire Park had a slightly more involved Easter egg. First, you need to find 5 rat traps around the map and shoot them. Then find a cheese wheel and bring it to the statue of the Pied Piper in the center of the map. Upon doing this, rats will spawn and start circling the statue before eventually exploding. Getting back to subtle secrets, in the World at War campaign, the mission Semper Fi features a soldier named Private Ryan, who you can save from their untimely demise and unlock an achievement referencing the 1998 World War II movie named after the act you just performed. Another movie reference can be found in COD 4's mission Crew Expendable. Before breaching the ship, Gaz will take out a shotgun saying,
"I'll to keep this for close encounters."
a quote pulled straight from the movie Aliens in 1986.
I'd like to keep this handy for close encounters.
But one of the biggest, yet still under the radar movie references in Call of Duty game is the map Beheaded in Vanguard, which takes heavy inspiration from the movie Cloverfield, in which a giant monster beheads the Statue of Liberty. In the Vanguard campaign, during the Numa Numa Trail, Wade comes across a soldier named Lewis Howard, which might ring some bells for longtime fans of the franchise, as he reveals later in the level this is actually the brother of Marcus Howard, featured in the World War II campaign, and perhaps better known as the Orders guy in the game's multiplayer. What's also a fun fact is that both Howards are voiced by the same actor, Russell Richardson. In a cafe on Advanced Warfare's Aquarium, a chocolate bar made by Dr. Monty from Treyarch Zombies can be found sitting on the shelf. In Black Ops 1, the first letter of each DLC map pack, First Strike, Escalation, Annihilation, and Resurrection, spell out the word fear. On the map Convoy, wanted posters can be seen for a 14-year-old named Raphael Angelina, a young COD fan diagnosed with leukemia, who had a chance to visit Treyarch and was lucky enough to have his face forever immortalized in the franchise. And that brings us to the Nuketown Easter eggs. In Black Ops 1, shooting off the heads of every mannequin in under 15 seconds will result in Sympathy for the Devil by the Rolling Stones to play over the loudspeakers throughout the map. In BO2, decapitating them all under 90 seconds turns the Nuketown sign into a retro gaming console with 4 classic Activision games to play. Then, Black Ops 3 actually has 2 Nuketown Easter eggs. Shooting their heads off will cause endless hordes of mannequins to spawn in and chase you, but shooting their arms off instead also causes them to give chase, but only when you're facing away from them. Black Ops 4 has the same criteria, but shoot off their heads and now a nuke will launch from the center of the map, opening a portal and spawning zombies taking the form of mannequins to come attack everyone in the game. And lastly, for the Nuketowns, shooting all the heads off in 60 seconds gives you a retro 80s filter over your screen, along with playing some funky synthwave music to accompany it. Now, let's jump over to the original Modern Warfare 3 for a bit. On the map Lockdown, you can use a recon drone to fly through a closed window and find a giant teddy bear wielding akimbo gold deagles. Then, outside of the map on Village, there's a hatch with the numbers 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, and 42 engraved on it, a reference to the infamous hatch in the show Lost. On Overwatch, a rooster can be seen piloting one of the construction cranes around the map. Back in World at War, the words "Ascend from Darkness" can be written above the stairs on Noctera on Toten, which is later referenced in Reznov's Steps to Freedom in the Vorkuta prison mission in Black Ops 1. Blackout's very first trailer back in 2018 features a shot of Woods sniping Mason from across the map. This is a not-so-subtle nod to Woods' accidental execution of his friend back in the Black Ops 2 campaign.
Mason!
In Modern Warfare 22, a street band can be seen playing in the Amsterdam mission. When sped up, you might recognize it as a cover of the Billie Eilish song Bad Guy, as even proven in the game's credits. Also in MW22, one of your randomly generated allies can be named Private Ramirez, a callback to the faceless playable character in the original game. In Modern Warfare 23, you play as Soap and Price trying to find Makarov during an attack on the Verdansk Stadium. When first driving into the parking garage at the beginning of the level, if you look close enough, you can actually see him leaving in the ambulance right there in plain sight. In Black Ops 2 multiplayer, the power plant's control building on Meltdown features a box of pink frosted donuts, referencing the donut-loving nuclear reactor inspector and TV icon Homer Simpson. Hijack also features a shout-out, with the boat being named Von Voyage, a reference to the legendary ex-Treyarch developer David Vonderhaar, who oversaw multiplayer development of just about every Black Ops title. And we've got one more in Black Ops 2. The number 1.21 gigawatts can be found printed on the back of the Guardian score streak as a quick nod to the 1985 film Back to the Future. COD World War II introduced the Headquarters, a social hub where players could hang out in between matches, and Sledgehammer did their best to pack as many Easter eggs into this place as possible. The most well-known is probably the watermelons that fly out of the firing range when the proper sequence of targets are hit. But there's also various hidden gridiron balls scattered around the map you need to parkour your way to. Collect all 3 and you can unlock yourself a fancy new emblem. There's also an additional parkour spot letting you get on top of the score streak testing tower to look down on everyone else in the lobby. And if you're able to work your way up to the upper level of the command building, you'll find a sledgehammer, an obvious reference to the dev team who created it. And that's 50 secrets in Call of Duty. How many of these did you know? Let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to leave a like, check out my podcast, and subscribe for more videos like this. We'll see you in the next one.